Is it a dummy? Or as the legend says, the embalmed daughter of the store's former owner? La Pascualita, or Little Pascuala, is a bridal mannequin that has lived in a store window in Chihuahua, Mexico for the past 75 years. That is quite a long time for a bridal gown shop to retain a mannequin. But then the dummy has a rather strange history behind it. According to an urban legend, La Pascualita isn't a dummy at all, but the perfectly preserved corpse of the previous owner's daughter.
For years, the story of La Pascualita has been drawing loads of visitors, including media personalities from all over Mexico to Chihuahua.
Now people from South America, the US, and Europe have also started paying visits to the corpse bride. People smudge their noses up against the shop windows, staring at the dummy, trying to figure out if she is real or not. They are taken in by her mesmerizing gaze and realistic-looking features. Most people walk away convinced that she has to be real.
La Pascualita was first installed in the store window on March 25, 1930, dressed in a spring seasonal bridal gown.
The effect was instantaneous. People simply could not tear their sight away from this new mannequin, with the wide-set glass eyes, real hair, and blushing skin tone. Soon, they realized that the mannequin closely resembled the shop's owner at the time, Pascuala Esparza.
It didn't take long for them to come to the conclusion that the dummy was in fact the embalmed body of her daughter, who had died recently on her wedding day after being bitten by a black widow spider.
This revelation did not go well with the locals, and they started to express their disapproval. But by the time Pascuala could issue an official statement denying the rumors, it was too late. Nobody was willing to believe her. The daughter's name has been lost over time, and La Pascualita stuck through the years.
Of course, the speculated presence of a corpse must naturally be accompanied by supernatural happenings as well. Several odd incidences have been reported around the dummy, none of which have been confirmed, of course.
It is said that a lovesick French magician would arrive at night and magically bring it to life, taking her out to town. A few others believe that her gaze shifts and follows him around the store. At night, she's also believed to shift positions in the window.
These tales are pretty scary, perhaps most of all to the shop workers, who have to see Pascualita every single day. The ones to leave the shop last are definitely not a happy lot. The dummy's outfits are changed twice a week behind closed curtains. Sonia, a shop worker, says, "Every time I go near Pascualita, my hands break out in a sweat."
Her hands are very realistic, and she even has varicose veins on her legs. I believe she's a real person. Now, an account like that, coming from a person who has actually changed the mannequin's clothes, seems very believable. But could Pascualita really be a 75-year-old corpse? I'm terribly curious to see it for myself.
But although most Chihuahua locals are convinced La Pascualita is actually a well-preserved corpse, the internet is full of explanations as to why that cannot possibly be true. The Museum of Hoaxes, for example, states that it would be impossible to embalm someone and have their flesh be preserved that perfectly.
For some reason, people tend to think it's easier to preserve a body than it actually is. Well, one commentator adds, "Yeah, bodies really go bad pretty darn fast unless you take some rather heroic measures to keep them from doing so."
Both linen and mount have basically been rendered to a state much like rubber and are kept under extremely monitored conditions. Most of the stuff the undertakers and what all do is with the aim of making the corpse look good until burial. Anything over a couple of weeks, and things start going very, very bad. A taxidermist might manage something, but it ain't gonna be pretty. What do you think?